And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. The man over here to my left is Marcus. We are back in picture. We are back on the camera. It's great to be back. So, Marcus, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty well. Just there was no basketball last night. It was kind of weird, but can't wait to watch this game tonight. This game 5. And I guess we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that too a little later. But I'd like to give a big shout out to my Kansas City Royals for beating the dreaded St. Louis Cardinals in the I-70 series last night, 9-2. We have tonight off before we start a homestand versus the Yankees on Friday night. Fun fact: every Friday night in a Kansas City Royals, when we play at home, they wear gold, and we are 4-0 when wearing gold this year, and we're looking to make it 5-0 versus those dreaded Yankees.
Golly, and please beat the Yankees at least once. I mean,
Hey,
this team, the
the
Yankees
Royals
are
always seem to step up against them.
yeah. No, I know it. And the Yankees this year, man, they have all these people on the disabled list, and they're still winning games, man. It's almost sickening. But yeah, please beat them at least once. And then I noticed I guess the Royals played a doubleheader yesterday because you said they won, and I looked. I said, wait, they lost, but no, they won game 1.
Yeah.
So they split the
We
the
don't
double.
talk about the losses. We only talk about the wins over here.
Yeah, so they split the doubleheader. Yeah, that was good. I'm glad you beat the Cardinals.
They were supposed to play on Tuesday, but
Mhm.
Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri is getting massive amounts of rain and flooding and,
Right.
and tornadoes. So if you guys are listening from that area, like I do know my family's listening out there in Kansas, so I hope you guys are all safe. Like my parents had 5 tornadoes in their area
Oh wow.
just this past night or two nights ago, I guess. So and there's another round happening today. So hopefully everything over there is all right. I saw some damages and stuff. It didn't look
Yeah,
too terrible, just some barns and stuff like that. But it is that time
they
of
happen.
year in Tornado Alley, so it is what it is.
Yeah, they happen. Those tornadoes happen a lot in Oklahoma. There were some in Texas. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's hope those people are all right, man.
And I saw the Cinnamon River in Oklahoma is flooding real bad and sweeping away houses and
Yeah,
stuff. So hopefully everybody is okay over there. Like if not, hopefully like your insurance will cover some stuff for you. Hopefully,
yeah,
we know how insurance works.
yeah.
They're not very nice sometimes. But speaking of the South area, OTAs for the Dallas Cowboys have officially started. Dak Prescott was out there along with Jason Witten and the whole crew. Everybody was looking good. From the things I saw, like I just saw a little bit of highlights.
Yeah.
I didn't see the whole videos or the whole episodes, I guess, like you could say on the NFL channel. But Marcus, we're both Cowboys fans, what are you looking for most out of these OTAs?
Well, it's just fun to look at Jason Witten back. Man, he's over there teaching the young guys. I
He
think
looks
he was
great
talking.
too. He looks in
Yeah,
great
he
shape.
looks fabulous, and just to have him there to mentor the young guys, and not necessarily that he does so much coaching, but he leads by example, man. And the pick, I think it was like 4th round pick last year, Schultz out of Stanford, man. He was talking to him, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we need. And this will probably be his final year, his 16th season. It was just fun to watch him back. I mean, he's got to be that security blanket for Dak Prescott this year, and that's just amazing to watch. Um, I can't wait to watch Randall Cobb to see how they implement him in the Cowboys system. He'll take over for Cole Beasley. That's exciting to watch. Randall Cobb is similar to Beasley in terms of the numbers, but he's a better version of Cole Beasley, and hopefully he's past his injuries and he can get everything going. This is going to be a fun season to watch. I really don't, and I don't say this lightly. I'm one of those Cowboy fans that I critique them very hard, but man, I really don't see any weakness in the Dallas Cowboys this year. The weakness I see is the coach. I've not been a fan of Jason Garrett. I've been a critic of his for many years. I think he cost us the playoff game against Green Bay by giving Aaron Rodgers too much time. Um, we can rehash that one day if you want to, but he left too much time on the clock. This guy does this over and over, clock management. You're talking about a coach that iced his own kicker. So I haven't been a big fan of Jason Garrett, but man, I don't know if he can even screw this up. Well, he might, but this team is loaded, and it's just fun to watch football again. Man, I've got the football itch. I cannot wait to see this started. It only lasts 4 or 5 months, and then you got 8 months of no football. It's terrible. And so it's fun to see the OTAs back and see everybody participating, and just get these rookies signed and get everybody going. Another little quick note here. You asked me about OTAs as well, and I go off on somebody else. I go off on something else. I love the Cowboys, but Pollard, the running back they got out of Memphis, love him, and what a great pick. He reminds me of Ty Montgomery from the Packers. You remember Ty Montgomery, number 88?
Yep.
He could play receiver and he could play running back. Tony Pollard's going to do the same thing. He's the jack of all trades. He's not a running back every day, down running back, where if Zeke's out, you just hand the ball to Tony Pollard 25 times. Absolutely not. They'll have other players in there for that, but you've got to get Pollard. You've got to throw him the ball about 5-6 times a game, and you got to hand it off to him about 8 to 9 times a game. So Pollard should get a total of about 15 touches there. He is really good. Plus, he'll be on the return game. So I can't wait to see how they implement Tony Pollard as well. I think he's going to wear number 36. I thought I saw in the OTA. So he is fun to watch. He can receive out of the backfield and hand him the rock and special teams. So that's a really good pick that the Cowboys made there. And Tony Pollard, the running back out of Memphis. He was the second best running back, obviously, out of that from Memphis. But like I said, he's a jack of all trades. He's not just a running back. So, yeah, Dallas is going to be fun to watch this year, and I'm just glad to watch any kind of football, even if it's OTAs and going 7-on-7 and stuff like that, even if they're not hitting. It's just fun to watch.
Right, and just to add to your point here, I have had the major football itch because we've been running spring practice out here at my high school that I coach at, and we're in a period where we can't talk to the players and like all that stuff. So like seeing these OTAs on the TV, it has lit the fire underneath like even more, because like spring ball is it is hard work for us as a coaching staff and that kind of thing, because you can't hit, you can only do so much, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the weakness from the Cowboys last year was definitely the tight end play. We didn't have that security blanket at all. It showed in the playoffs versus the Rams when it was like when it was 3rd and 6, and we're throwing 15-yard passes down the field because we didn't have that tight end underneath. And like looking at the roster now, that might be the strength of the team, because you have a veteran like Jason coming back and teaching these young guys the ropes. The Fred Hendricks guy, I look for him to make big strides this year. He was the man last year, and then I'm not saying that's not the right guy. Not Fred Fredericks. What is the tight end's name? It's slipping my mind.
You talking about Schultz last year from Stanford?
Yeah, there you go. Schultz.
Okay, yeah.
So he is going to make great strides. I was thinking of somebody else. The Fredericks is a tight end for like the Packers or something like that. But the tight end play is going to be very critical. It's going to be the best, easily core group of positions on the field. I also like the wide receiver core, like obviously with the addition of Cobb. I think he is going to do great things on this team, opening up for Amari Cooper as well. Because when you have two big name threats, who are you? Like, the safety can only be in one spot, so it is who are you going to double team at that point? Even then, open it up for Ezekiel Elliott more. Very exciting to see him not have 8 guys in the box every time when we snap the ball. I believe you said it was the first 6 or 7 games before Amari Cooper came, they had 8 guys in the box 85% of the time. It's just something. It's just a ridiculous stat like that, and just so I would like to see him a full season with Amari Cooper on the field. See if he can't break that 2,000-yard mark, as of all the greats have per se.
Yeah, no, and then the tight end position's not bad. I mean, you got Schultz, Witten, and then Blake Jarwin is still there, and I like just the fact that Witten's given, they're learning under Jason Witten. That's fun to watch as well. And I mean, Dallas has, Dallas has a lot of weapons there, so that's going to be fun to watch. Another weakness is that got exposed a little bit, but it was kind of weird that got exposed. Like, I didn't think that was going to be a major weakness. I think was the defensive line. The defensive tackles got run on against the Rams, which is which was that was the only thing that was surprising to me out of the game. Maybe Malik Collins was hurt.
I don't chalk that up to the defensive line playing bad. I chalk that up for C.J. Anderson just having that good a game because.
Well, yeah, the offensive line for the Rams played well.
You could have put 5 All-Stars on that line, and C.J. Anderson still got like 100.
Yeah, but Michael, that's inexcusable to give up that many yards on. And we had a good defensive line. I don't know.
I think we had a great line.
Yeah, but Malik Collins, I think, was hurt, and I know Antoine Woods and John Ross were there. They're good players. Don't get me wrong. Antoine Woods out of USC, but we improved in that situation, getting Tristan Hill from Central Florida and signing Christian Covington. So that's the improvement. You can tell Michael, that was a weakness because one of the first free agents they wanted to go get was Christian Covington out of Rice via Houston Texans. Christian Covington made some big-time plays for the Texans. He's a hell of a player, very smart player, gets in the backfield a few times. Christian Covington wanted to make that move to a 4-3. He was tired of being a 0-1 technique at Houston, playing the nose guard. He wanted to play next to a defensive tackle. Well, he's going to get his shot here playing next to Malik Collins, who's a pretty good player, and Tristan Hill and those boys and Antoine Woods. So I can't wait to see how Christian Covington plays, next to a defensive tackle, somebody his size that can help him stop the run. Because in that 3-4, sometimes you don't get that luxury. You're the main, the plug guy in there. So, and then getting Tristan Hill with our first pick, which was in the second round.
Yeah.
That kid. There's some plays he looks like Warren Sapp and Aaron Donald. Now his ceiling is probably not going to be that because he he had some trouble with the coaches last year and things like that, and he's some motivational stuff there going on. Maybe playing college too long because you have to play college at least 3 years. And he dominated, sophomore year. The NFL needs to change that rule, I think, where you can come out after 2 years if you show like a committee your film and you show that you're big enough and strong enough to handle that. Then Tristan Hill would have been drafted last year and he wouldn't have had that problem with the new coaches because he was ready to play in the NFL, not this year, but last year. Yeah. So to get Tristan Hill and Christian Covington and to show up that weakness on the defense is huge for the Cowboys. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about that in training camp and everything like that. But, yeah, the weaknesses, you're right, Michael, was tight ends and then tight ends, defensive line. And other than that, I don't think there is a weakness on the Dallas Cowboys. When you bring in Randall Cobb, let me tell you something. Michael Gallup, their pick last year in the third round out of Colorado State, is one heck of a player.
Yeah.
This guy can be – his ceiling is pretty good too. I don't know if he'll ever be a number one.
He's definitely undervalued.
Michael Gallup for many years will be a strong number 2. So that was a heck of a pickup there. You still have Tavon Austin. This is going to be fun to watch. Pollard, the new new toy that Jason Garrett and Kellen Moore have to work with. And I guess if I'm reaching, let me think about this for a second. Another weakness the Cowboys had was their play calling would get too predictable at times. They did the jumbo package against the Rams, 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and the whole Rams defense knew it was coming. When you got it, that really bothered me. Let's get rid of the jumbo package on 4th and 1, especially in a critical game like that when everybody in the Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald and everybody knew that Ezekiel was going to get it, and we didn't end up getting the first down, and that pretty much cost us the game right there. That was the end of the game. So let's scratch that jumbo package there. Let's get a little creative. When you have a quarterback like Dak Prescott, he's 6'2", 230 pounds. He's as big as Steve McNair or Aaron McNair back in the Houston days. He's as big as Donovan McNabb. Let's have him do if they would have done a bootleg that play, faked it to Zeke, and then have Dak run around the end in a bootleg situation, one-on-one with a safety or outside linebacker, Dak would have got the 4th and inches.
Anything but a 21 dive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So let's hope that Kellen Moore changes this up. Let's hope he's a little more innovative there than Jason Garrett was. And let's hope Kellen Moore changes this offense up a little bit. Let's have it a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to bring up something that you said about a minute and a half ago. You said the guy could have came out last year. I think the NFL just needs to scratch the 3-year rule period. Just have the same rule that the NBA has. 1 year out of high school and you are good to go. Because if you because if you think about it, you are preventing a 18-year-old adult from getting a job and possibly hurting himself further throughout his career, like at that point. Like I feel if you are 18 years old and you enter yourself in a draft
Yeah.
and you get picked up, hey, you are set to make millions of like dollars. If you
Right.
don't get picked up like in the draft, well,
Right.
it is just like a job. It is just like a job interview, and you
Yeah.
didn't get hired. You have to go on to the next job. I mean
Yeah.
but that also means that your college playing days are like over as well. But so it is a catch 22 like at that point. But like either way, like the whole playing 3-year rule, I think that is absolutely crazy, especially in college football, because like you said, he was ready his sophomore year. Like
Yeah.
like what
No,
happens?
I understand. Real quick, in one correction, I said John Ross. It's our defensive tackle is Daniel Ross. John Ross is the first round pick out of Cincinnati Bengals. Has been a bust so far. I got
Yeah.
my Rosses mixed up, but listen, I like it. I would like it after 2 years
Yeah.
because
Just,
I don't know how ready you are physically. See, 'cause it's different in the NBA.
there are
You
eighth
know,
graders that are ready for the NBA. Like,
yeah, I
honestly.
mean,
Yeah.
their bodies are ready. A freshman, I'm trying to think of a freshman in college that would be ready to play even after his freshman year. I think there should be a committee where you can
Let
put your
me
name in the hat.
let me clarify this real quick. Like I'm not saying like they are going to be prepared to play right out of high school or their freshman or like sophomore year, but have the opportunity out there, like the whole Maurice Claret thing, like
Yeah,
10, 15 years ago.
yeah,
It shouldn't, like he was ready to play the NFL his
he
after
was.
that freshman year. So why
It-
not be able to go play?
really, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think there should be a committee, led by like Mel Kiper and ex-coaches and all that.
Right.
And the two names that come to mind in the past 15 years, whatever, Maurice Claret, that's a good one that you said right there. I think he could have played in the NFL after his freshman season. He had no need to go back to college. His body was ready.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, obviously, he gets cut by the Broncos. He was taken with third-round pick, but he had already had psychological trouble after that.
Yeah.
He was done. Like, that wasn't going to work. If he would have come out after his freshman season, and he would have been a second-round pick, Maurice Claret. Adrian Peterson was ready to play NFL football after his freshman year.
Yeah.
Just recently, Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle
Yes.
for the University of Houston Cougars, would have been ready to play in the NFL after his freshman year in college. So, but there's few of those. There's only a few of those.
And
so,
the San Francisco 49ers pick, Nick Bosa from Ohio State. He sat out a year because he was ready to play. So
yeah, but he was already a junior, Michael. So in other words, I don't know if Bosa would have been ready to play. He's a little light and he's still like 270 pounds defensive end. He's ready to go.
We'll see.
Right. But after his freshman year,
weeks.
yeah, but after his freshman year, that would have been like he would have been coming out with his brother. I don't think he would have been ready for that.
Right.
But yeah, but you notice, I mean, I follow college football really well, and I can only come up with a couple of players.
Well,
so we're not talking about this wealth of players here, but I think they should change it.
I'm not saying it is a bad
Yeah.
I'm saying the rule is bad. I'm not saying it will dramatically change how the draft is done. It's just those players that say me, like I am ready for the NFL out of high school, and I hate going to class. I hate going to school. So you want me to go to college for 3+ years just to be miserable for 3 years, not making any money, and then I'm going to give myself a bad name because I'm a bad student. I'm getting into trouble because I don't want to go to class. I'm getting suspended from the team because of my grades suck, and then my NFL future is over because I got this bad rap for 3 years, but three bad years in college. So, I mean, there are 0 kids out of high school ready to play in the NFL. I'm not debating that at all. I'm just saying, giving them the option to put their name in the draft,
Right. That's why I think there should be That's why I think there should be a committee that decides that. Made up.
Well, I mean, not even a committee. Just you can do it. Just do it like college basketball does it. Hey, I'm putting my name in the draft. Like, I want to see where I fall. Like if I'm projected in a third round pick, I'm going to keep my name in there. Like if I'm projected to get 6th or 7th round pick, I'm going to try to go back to school if I can add a year.
Yeah, but the trouble you run into that is these players are dumb, and so in terms of they just wanna play and get
Right.
paid and all
Yeah.
that, and they're not really ready. And so they'll say, hey, they'll come back and say, hey man, you're like a 6th round grade, dude. Like, and they'll say, oh, okay, that's cool. Or you may not get drafted. You may just go in training camp. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna keep my name and I'm sick of college. Okay, and then you know what's gonna happen to you? He's gonna be a 19-year-old in training camp with the Atlanta Falcons or whoever,
Right.
and he's gonna ruin his career because they're gonna whoop his ass in training camp, a 19-year-old kid, and then he's gonna be released, and then he's gonna be back in somewhere else doing some he's not supposed to be doing. I mean that's the trouble that you'll run into. That's why I want to. That's why I want a committee of people that say, hey, look, this guy is ready. We watched him on film. It's very rare. He's like Ed Oliver. Because I don't know if you remember Ed Oliver after his freshman season, he dominated. He was big enough, strong enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he blew away Nick Bosa in terms of strength. Ed Oliver basically just played the last 2 years at the University of Houston for funsies. Didn't get paid. He's one of those rare ones. You remember Adrian Peterson, his freshman year, led the Big 12 in rushing. He was just outrageous. He could have easily started for an NFL team his sophomore season in college, but yeah, he started for the Oklahoma Sooners his sophomore season. So there's very, very few of these players. So that's why I want the committee there of former college coaches and all that, and led by like Mel Kiper and those guys, Todd McShay, some of those guys on the NFL Network, Charles Davis. Let them decide because they're smart football people. Let the committee decide.
You're right.
If this player throws his name in, you know what? You can stay, son, because we watched you on tape and you can play in the NFL level. But, I mean, you're talking about after the freshman season, you're talking about, man, there's not too many players that are ready for the NFL. So you're only talking about maybe 10 to 20 players that are going to ask this committee that I'm talking about if I'm ready for the NFL. You're talking about very few, hardly at all, if any at all. It'd be very rare.
Well, then you come into the question of like you are asking these 18-year-old kids to live poor off of ramen noodles and tuna for 4 years. Pay them for their name, pay them for their likeness, etc.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
See, that's another subject. I agree with that. If Adrian Peterson can't, like, let's just go just to back 4 years ago. If Ed Oliver, if they say no, which I don't even think the committee would say no on Ed Oliver, but let's just say, nah, you're not ready. You got to play your sophomore year. Then Ed Oliver, they sell that number 10 jersey in the University of Houston shops. He should be able to get if that jersey sold for $50, Ed Oliver should get 25 of it at least.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah. I
agree with that.
I feel that's a topic for like a whole show, and then people can say, "Oh, they're getting paid a stipend each month." Well, football players get 3 months of stipend because you don't get your stipend until your first game. So then you're living off of $500 like a week or something crazy to that effect. And then this just popped into my head. There was a Baylor kicker that had a YouTube channel, and he was making money off of him kicking field goals and like stuff. And the NCAA tried to make him take his YouTube channel down because he was making money off of his name. And,
it's not fair at all, Michael. And then like Antonio Daniels a few years back, former first-round pick, he played for the Spurs for many years. He went to college at Bowling Green. He said he would go into the student campus, library, and things like that. He would see they can't put Daniels on the back of the jersey, right?
Right.
But everybody knew. But they were selling the 33 jersey. That was his number.
Yeah.
And so he would see it there, and he would be like, "Man, I don't get any money from that." And they're selling my jersey, my number. I'm the reason they have that available to sell in the library or whatever it is. Brady Quinn, I think they sold a bunch of 10 jerseys. I think Brady Quinn, I heard talking about that one time. Yeah. He was there for 3 years at Notre Dame, starting quarterback for a couple of those years. And they would sell number 10 jerseys there at the Notre Dame shop. But, Brady Quinn wasn't seeing a dime off that. So I think that has to change. You're right.
Honestly, I can go in on this over and over and over because, every other college student, they can intern at a place while they're in school, and they get paid for that internship. A teacher can teach while they're in school and get paid for that, but yet
and this is
I can't have a YouTube channel off of me kicking a ball through a field goal post. Like, it is a flawed system, and it definitely needs to get fixed sooner than later.
Yes, it does. And this is a good topic that we kind of stumbled upon. And real quick, I'll end it with this on my part. Dabo Swinney, the great Dabo Swinney, signed a 10-year, $93 million contract, right? Clemson.
Yep.
But he says the day that the college players start getting paid for their likeness and getting paid, some revenue, because it's $1 billion industry, he said that's the day I will leave and I will go to the NFL. Well, I'm hoping that Dabo Swinney, I hope this happens soon for the kids, and I hope Dabo Swinney does what he said he was going to do and leave and go to the NFL then.
Yeah. Well, those kids are the only reason why he is making that kind of money.
That's right.
That is the only reason why the University of Alabama is able to pay Saban as much money as like he does it on his private yacht and etc. But like you're getting me worked up a little bit because that just rubs me the wrong way because like I was a college athlete and like I lived off of tuna fish and ramen noodles for 4 years and it was horrible because like I couldn't even go down to the local KFC and like get a job because I was at football practice from 6 until 9, class from 9 until 4, football meetings from 4 until 5, weights from 5 to 7, and then football practice and like study halls from 7 to like 2 like 11. So I literally had 8 hours that were not planned, and that was used for sleep. So it just
I understand.
But speaking of college kids getting ready to make a lot of money here, if you guys missed the last 2 episodes, we're talking about the NBA draft happening here. Marcus went through 1 through 10 on Tuesday, 11 through 20 on yesterday's show, and he's going to finish out the first round here of his mock draft, starting with number 21. So, Marcus, who do you have going 21?
Yeah, real quick, because it affects 21. Boston was 20th pick, and I have them taking Tyler Hero, and I think Oklahoma State just went, oh man, you know what I mean? That was probably going to be their guy because they really missed shooting in that Oklahoma series versus Portland. Basically, it was like Paul George or bust. I mean, nobody else contributed. I think they're going to target Tyler Hero. If he falls at 21, Oklahoma City will get him. But I have Boston taking Tyler Hero. So with the 21st selection, Oklahoma City, I have him taking Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's a cousin of Gidris Alexander, the first round pick of the Clippers last year. Alexander Walker out of Virginia Tech, 6'5", multi-dimensional player, can shoot it, good at slashing at the basket. What a great place to learn behind Russell Westbrook, and he will get significant minutes for Oklahoma. Number 22, PJ Washington. There's your boy, the Boston Celtics. This is a really good pick for them. He'll learn under Al Horford and those boys, and this is a solid pick. They blew it last year when they took this kid Williams out of Texas A&M, but they won't miss this one on PJ Washington. He's the real deal. Utah, I have them taking Goga Bitadze out of the Republic of Georgia. I think Croatia. Bitadze is a kind of a more nimble, kind of a little bit better skilled Aaron Baines, and so I think Utah will, he'll back up Derek Favors, and that'll be a good pick for them. Let's see here, 24 Philadelphia. Here's a good one because JJ Redick is a free agent. Now I don't know if we went over that a lot. JJ Redick and he's a free agent, so I have them taking Ty Jerome out of Virginia. That's a heck of a pickup as well. We'll see what happens there if they can re-sign Redick, but Ty Jerome is a good replacement for JJ Redick. And they're also going to lose a couple of more key free agents if they don't re-sign these guys. Philadelphia's in a little quandary this year with their free agency. So we'll see if they can keep Jimmy Butler but JJ Redick is a big asset. So Ty Jerome can replace JJ Redick. 25 Portland. I have them taking Luguentz Dort out of Arizona State, 6'4" guard, can shoot the ball really well. He's a heck of a defender, Marcus Smart type defender, but he also hits open shots, and that's what Portland needs as well. 26, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got them taking Charles Bassey, kid from San Antonio, went to Western Kentucky, 6'10", jump out of the gym. His problem is his motor. I don't know how he doesn't want to kick people's butt sometimes, and you got to really. He doesn't have that killer instinct, but he does have a lot of athleticism. And getting late first round, getting Charles Bassey out of Western Kentucky for the Cleveland Cavaliers is good value. Brooklyn, I have him taking your boy. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Naz Reid, 6'10" out of LSU. He looks like a man among boys. He looks like he's 35 years old already, and he's 20 years old. Naz Reid, 6'10", high recruit, former McDonald's All-American. He goes to Brooklyn. I don't know if they're going to package something with James Allen and D'Angelo Russell to try to get Anthony Davis. But Naz Reid could come in there and learn with James Allen. He's more skilled than James Allen. So we'll see what happens there. And here's your boy, the rich get richer. Golden State Warriors taking Keldon Johnson, 6'6" out of Kentucky with the 28 selection. You're right, though. I believe that. I have him at 28. I think if I had to redo it again, because this is my first mock draft, Keldon Johnson may go in the top 20. He's that talented. God, I hope Golden State doesn't get him. Keldon Johnson, 6'6" out of Kentucky. San Antonio, I got them taking Dylan Windler out of Belmont with the 29th selection. Reminds me a little of Joe Ingles, but he's a better ball handler than Joe Ingles, but he's got the same mannerisms that Joe Ingles has from Utah. The way he moves a little bit, but like I said, he's a better athlete and he jumps higher than Joe Ingles. Dylan Windler can shoot it lights out. He'll make the San Antonio roster. If he's there at 29, you hurry up and take him. And my last pick with the 30th selection, Milwaukee Bucks, is Isaiah Roby, a 6'8" out of Nebraska. I think he won the Chicago Combine, the pre-draft camp there in Chicago. Isaiah Roby showed out. I think Jay Billis had him at 53 coming into the camp, and I think Billis is going to redo his top 60 or top 100 there because Isaiah Roby made himself some money at that Chicago draft camp. I think he's going to go in the first round. And so there you go. There's the top 30, the first round. And I'll do another one, and we'll revisit it. We get closer to the draft, and I have some shuffling there that, we'll figure out. Players move up, players move down. Right. But Isaiah Roby's a heck of a player out of Nebraska. Milwaukee gets him with the 30th selection. That's pretty big. There's one mock draft where somebody did where they had San Antonio taking Isaiah Roby at 29. That wouldn't be bad either. So there's my top 30. Big one there is I think Ty Jerome replacing J.J. Redick would be a big deal in Philly if they can't resign Redick. And so and then P.J. Washington of the Celtics. I think that would be at 22. Or they can take him at 20 if they pass on Tyler Hero or if Tyler Hero's already gone. I think that's a big deal. P.J. Washington learning under Al Horford.
Yes, that would be great for PJ.
That's huge. And he'll do a lot of things that listen, he's a Danny Ainge type, he's a good kid. He'll come in there and learn. He's PJ Washington's father's really good pedigree from that pick right there, PJ Washington, to go to the Celtics. So, like I said, this is not a bad draft. It's not top heavy where, some drafts you see, the top 8, they look like they're all going to be all-stars. No, the top 2 look like they're going to be all-stars. And everybody else, starting with R.J. Barrett, down to 30, has a chance to be a good contributor. And you're seeing that right now, and I'll reiterate again, Toronto Raptors are playing, and Norman Powell, there's some nights where he's their third best player. Some nights he's their second best player behind Kawhi Leonard. 6'5" Norman Powell out of UCLA, and Toronto found him in the second round in the 40 selection.
Right.
That's what you're trying to do as an NBA team. You're trying to find the Norman Powells, and Norman Powell can contribute. The Norman Powells of the world can contribute right away. There's a bunch of Norman Powells in this draft in terms of not necessarily their skill set, but I could easily see Keldon Johnson out of Kentucky, Lugan Dortz out of Arizona State. These players, and a player I didn't even mention, Jalen Horton-Tucker out of Iowa State. I have him going in the second round. I can easily see these type of players, Romeo Langford, these guys contributing in getting playoff minutes, getting 10, 15 minutes, and holding the fort down for the starters. This is a good and solid, deep draft with not top-heavy, not superstars, but good players like Norman Powell, who's getting a lot of time for Toronto Raptors. So I like this draft, even though it's not top-heavy.
Yeah, and I am currently working on my mock draft as well. This is my first one ever doing, so it's taken a little bit longer to do some research because I haven't seen some of the kids play. Just so I'm watching some tape, watching some highlight tape, etc.
Your advantage is you got 3 Kentucky. You like Kentucky. You got 3 Kentucky first rounders.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of where they go.
So
Keldon Johnson. P.J. Washington, and Tyler Hero. They're all three of them are going in the first round.
And while you're talking about Kentucky here, let me give you some P.J. Washington insights here. He was flirting with going to the NBA last season, and he stayed at Kentucky for his sophomore season. He is a night and day player. So if he learns, like if he's open-minded and learns underneath Al Horford, look for him to dominate his position, because like Al Horford was just like PJ in college. He grew so much from year 1 to year 2, and now he's been solid in the NBA for what, 6-7 years. I can't remember how long he's like.
Al Horford, he's been since about 12 years now. Yeah. But he won the championship there.
He's been solid,
in Florida.
The whole time he he's been in there. So learn from a guy like Al that's been there and done that. People are sleeping on Keldon Johnson. He did not show out in college, but this Kentucky system that they played in, he did not have an opportunity to really show out. He reminds me a lot of Kawhi, 100%. Just the way he controls the ball, the way he drives to the basket. He's just a really soft-spoken. He goes to the court. He does what he has to do to win, and he steps off. There's no off-court issue.
Yes.
There's no crazy antics. So look for Keldon Johnson to be he is being slept on in this draft. I believe you had him going 22nd or 23rd, or it was pretty low, right?
Keldon Johnson, listen, I have him going 28 to Golden State.
Right.
But when I redo my mock draft, my 2.0 or whatever, he's going to go much higher.
Yeah,
he did well 15, in Chicago.
A 15, 14 pick. You guys, this guy is a true talent. So any team that gets him is going to be a diamond in the rough, 100%. So.
And then real quick, and then what about this draft is, you look at last year's draft, the top 5 picks, Michael, all made first team all rookie. It was a little more top heavy.
100%.
Right now, flash forward a year from now, you could have kids that were drafted in the 30s, in the 40s, and the 20s make all rookie first or second team.
Yeah.
This is a crapshoot. I mean, you're getting pretty much the same value. You pick it 8 or 9 to 30. I mean, Keldon Johnson could be the 15th pick, the 20th pick. He's not a top 5 pick, and he probably could make first team all or second team all rookie.
Right.
Same thing with KZ Okpala, Tyler Hero, P.J. Washington. These are not top 5 picks, but they could be first team all rookie and be picked 15, 16, 22. So this is a draft where you're going to get good value from 8 to 30. This is all the same type of player that could come in and contribute.
This is a draft where you add talent to your team, not a talent changing team, if I'm saying that correctly.
You're right. Yeah.
But let's go ahead and stay in the NBA. And tonight we have Toronto taking on the Bucks in Game 5. First things first, who do you got in this game, and some insights?
Man, I said everybody would win their home games, and so far that's happened, much to my chagrin now, because I looked at what happened in the Western Conference. I wanted somebody to hurry up and end this so they can get just as much as rest of the Warriors. That is absolutely not happening. So my first instinct there is going to be probably right. I think everybody's probably going to win their home games. Miami will win this thing in 7. They'll do it Monday night
Milwaukee.
On the 27th. Milwaukee will win this thing in 7. And so I tell you right now, whoever wins Game 5 will probably win the series. And let's just say Toronto. I'm going to be rooting for whoever wins Game 5. So if Toronto wins this thing tonight, which is possible. I don't see it happening. I see the Bucks winning. Then I'm hoping Toronto just closes this thing out in 6. Let's hurry up, get Toronto some rest, get Kawhi Leonard some rest. I just don't see how Toronto's going to win in Milwaukee if Kawhi Leonard is hobbling. That's a huge deal. And then he's not on the injury report, Michael. I think somebody had said Toronto doesn't even have him on the injury report, so that's weird. So Kawhi's doing Kawhi things and not letting Toronto doctors see him and put him on the injury report, tell him what's wrong. He can tell everybody to be honest and tell people what's wrong with him. So that's a little weird there, Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know what that situation is. I mean, it seems like he's a warrior, man, and he's a great player. But sometimes it seems like he's like the prima donna, I'm hurt, and he does the Kobe Bryant where he's like, I can barely walk, and then I drop a 3 on you and I dunk on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of those Paul Pierce. I get the wheelchair, right? I get wheelchaired out of the arena, and then I come back and drop 40. Really? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems a little bit
Roger
like
Clemens
that.
and the bloody sock, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Or was it that Kurt Schilling with the bloody sock?
Yeah. Was it Kurt Schilling?
Kurt
Yeah.
Schilling,
Whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
It
That
was
right
Bill
wing
Snyder.
nut.
It was Bill Snyder and the bloody sock.
Bill Snyder, coach of Kansas State, right? Yeah, yeah. We messed up on that. I think Coach Kleiman got hired a few months ago. Yeah, it's like, let's see how Joe Pa is going to do with Penn State this year. Yeah, Bobby Bowden of Florida State. I'm ready for that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, but no, going back to the Kawhi Leonard thing. If he's really hurt, like I said, he's not being. I don't see him on the injury report. I could be wrong. Let's look up the injury report in a little while.
I just looked, and he's not on there.
Okay, so he's acting like somebody shot him right in the leg, but he's not on the injury report. So this is come on, dude. Like, are you being a prima donna? Does something really hurt? What's going on? Is it your right quad again? But you're jumping off your right leg. It's weird. It's almost like he just wants this. Oh my God, I don't know how I'm doing this, right? and then he's dunking on the Greek Freak. You know what I mean? Like, okay, but anyways, if he's really hurt, let's go back to that. Then it's going to be hard for Toronto to win. I don't see how they would go in to beat Milwaukee at all if Kawhi Leonard is actually hurt. But here's the thing: if he's kind of semi-hurt, he's fooling us, and it hurts just for a second, but he can still be the explosive Kawhi Leonard. Man, that guy is the type of guy that can beat you like almost on a one-man show. He just needs other people to chip in once in a while, and that guy can beat you. I've seen it before. Trust me, right here in San Antonio. So. If Kawhi Leonard, drops in 35 tonight and they win, I just hope they win in Toronto, and let's get this thing started on May 30th, Thursday night. Let Toronto versus Golden State, and I think Toronto actually has a shot against Golden State. So I think because of their defensive capabilities, and we talked about that the other day. I wish OG Anunoby would come back because he's part of the defensive crew that he used to guard LeBron. Before Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard got there, and now he's not there at all. If somehow he could come back for the finals, Golden State would have a hard time scoring. I'll tell you that right now.
It would be a better series, that's for sure.
It'll be because Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard are no slouches. That Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard aren't 6'2" Damian Lillard and 6'2" CJ McCollum. So it's not going to be as easy for Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry just to get wherever they want to get.
Right.
So it'll still be fun to watch. It's going to be, and I see Golden State complaining all the time, but Milwaukee's a hell of a defensive team too. Malcolm Brogdon is not CJ McCollum either. So Malcolm Brogdon can take on Stephen Curry and make life difficult for him. So I cannot wait to watch the finals. If KD comes back, Kevin Durant comes back, I'll probably pick the Warriors in 6 or 7. But if KD doesn't come back, this is an up for grab finals. But let's go back to tonight. I think Milwaukee wins. Listen, Chris Middleton, he had a heck of a game last couple games, or the last game, and they still got their butts kicked. But that Chris Middleton still needs to show up. Malcolm Brogdon and Eric Bledsoe. Oh my God! I heard from the Milwaukee people that. Because he used to be a lot better offensive player. He's 11 of 45 in this series. 11 of 45.
Really?
Eric Bledsoe. Yeah, that's like 24% shooting. I heard that he fell in love with weights, and so he's getting stronger and bigger. So he's becoming a heck of a defensive player. He made first team all defensive team, but his offense is hurt because he's lifting a lot of weights. He's becoming a better defender, but it's affected his offense. He's not as fast because of the weights, and he's not shooting the ball as well as he used to. Eric Bledsoe used to be a better shooter than this, and he's not shooting the ball as well. So the lifting weights has hurt Eric Bledsoe. But let's hope he shows up, and let Mirotic, man, come on, let's go, man. Pat Connaughton, I mean, this is it. You got to be, and the others, like Shaq likes to say, they always play well at home. They didn't so much play as well on the road. I think they'll show up and play well at home. Milwaukee, those others I was just talking about. I think Milwaukee wins this one by 10. I think it'll be close, and then the cream will rise to the top, and Milwaukee will pull away, shooting free throws. Toronto will be fouling, and it'll be like 7, 8, 9, 10-point lead, somewhere in there.
Right.
But I would not be shocked at all. This is how good Toronto is. Remember, Toronto was my pick to go to the finals. Toronto was my pick to win the championship back in October and November. So it wouldn't shock me at all if Toronto went ahead and one tonight, and then one game 6. This is very evenly matched. Okay, but I got Milwaukee winning tonight.
So, looking at the game 4 score here, 120 to 102. Do you remember a couple episodes ago when we said Portland just show up and play a little bit of D?
Yes.
Bucks, show up and play a little bit of D, and you guys might win this game tonight. Just a smidgen, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to show up tonight because defense does win championships, and you've nailed it all playoffs. These two teams had the best defense in the whole playoffs, and tonight I think it's going to be a defensive battle going head to head, back and forth. You know, it's basically going to come down to a possession or two toward the end of the game. And I think Toronto steals this game 5. They are on a roll. Their offense is shooting well. I mean, they obviously scored 120 points on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night. So I see that happening still. Yes, they are traveling across country a little bit, but their shooting is going to do well. Kyle Lowry is going to have another great game like he did in game 1. It is time for him to step up and earn that money that he is being paid in Toronto.
And Michael, he's been doing that too. He's been stepping up. So to your point,
So I think the Bucks defense is going to show up, but the Raptors' defense is going to show up as well. But the offense of the Raptors is going to be a little bit more better tonight than the Bucks are. So I'm picking a really low score, like 92 to 89. I think the first team to score 90 points wins this game, and I think the Raptors do it first. So 92 to 89 type of score tonight. Look for Kyle Lowry to have a 30-point game tonight. I think he is over that. The chip on his shoulder is getting bigger, and he's getting tired of people saying that he sucks. I think he is definitely showing to show up and play well tonight.
Listen, Kyle Lowry's not an all-star for nothing. He has supreme talent, man. That guy can play basketball. Okay,
he's a regular season talent.
Yeah,
but talent hasn't showed up. I think it's time for him to show up.
Yeah, and he's been showing up this. He's been showing up this series, and listen, they Kyle Lowry hits 30 points. They might win. I mean, that's a big number. And listen, you're probably going to be. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, Toronto can easily win this game. I see Bucks winning, but Toronto's talented enough to win this game. And you're right. You're 100% correct on Milwaukee's defense. Just show up. They didn't, and that was rare for me to watch. Milwaukee giving up 120 points. Like I said, out of the 82 games Milwaukee played, I probably watched 20 of them. I don't remember them even giving up 120 points. That was rare. So that probably won't happen again all series. The next time Milwaukee gives up 120 points, it'll be in the finals. Maybe a game or two. You know what I mean? No, I mean because Golden State's that good. They might get 120 one or two games. I look for a big time competitive game tonight. It'll be fun to watch, and this has been fun to watch. Listen, Giannis versus Kawhi is a really fun matchup. It is a matchup you need to go see. It's old school. It's old school where there's not like this collection of all-stars on a team. It's just you're going to watch, the one superstar carry his guys. Even though they each have an all-star on their team, Chris Middleton and Kyle Lowry, it's those two, Giannis and Kawhi Leonard. Who has the better game usually wins the game. So this is going to be fun to watch. I love watching this. It was so much more compelling than that Western Conference, whatever that was, whatever Portland Trailblazers, no defense playing asses. I mean that was ridiculous. And I'm still going to go on record right now. Myers Leonard from Portland, everybody was getting enamored with his three-point shooting. And you remember, he basically did he did nothing defensively, Myers Leonard. He just stood there, and he would let people go backdoor. And he was like one of those little kids where they follow the ball. Like little basketball, basketball, you just run to the ball and stay in your spot. That's what Myers Leonard was doing the whole time defensively. My son and I were pausing it. We're saying, what is Myers Leonard doing? What is Myers Leonard doing? Like it was the most like Pop would never play Myers Leonard. He's a bigger version of Davis Bertans, and Davis Bertans gets caught sometimes playing bad defense for the Spurs. Myers Leonard took Davis Bertans to a whole new level. Popovich would have kicked. He sat Bertans down for the series. He would have kicked Myers Leonard out of the gym, Popovich. It was hilarious to watch. I was just hilarious to watch. It was terrible for Portland.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can still feel how upset you are about that Eastern Conference Final Series, and anybody but Portland. And Portland, you still suck apparently. So I was kind of riding you guys high, like a little bit earlier, actually, and I was like, next year is going to be another first-round L for the Portland Trail Blazers.
And I'm mad at Denver. I'm mad at the Nuggets because they lost. They lost in 7. Right now, if it was the Denver Nuggets versus the Warriors still would have won probably, but we'd be getting ready for a game 6 the next night, and it would have probably been Warriors in 6. I mean, it wouldn't have been a sweep. They would have had a hard time with dealing with Jokic down there and the 2-6-5 guards, Murray and Harris. That would have been a better matchup.
And it would have been better for Toronto and the Bucks because KD would have had to come back earlier because they would have pushed the panic button a little bit. So,
and all because Denver couldn't get an offensive rebound in the quadruple overtime game. They let Portland get an offensive rebound, and then Rodney Hood hit a 3, and that won the quadruple overtime game. Yeah. And right there, if they don't get it's one or two plays. Yeah, you play sports before. Every single play is a big deal. Like it all gets to where you come down to the final seconds, and you can actually. So every play counts. I'm not going to take that away from. I played sports. I played football for 8 years. Every play counts. Okay, but that being said, there are one or two plays that can cost you the game. And the Nuggets not getting an offensive rebound and letting Rodney Hood, I think it was McCollum, get the rebound. Ridiculous. I could get a rebound over C.J. McCollum. Letting McCollum get the rebound and throwing it out to Hood, that was game. And so basically, Denver Nuggets lost the series off of not getting one offensive rebound.
Yep.
Okay.
Game of inches.
The Spurs lost the 2013 Finals off of not getting one offensive rebound. Well, there's a couple of things, missing a free throw here or there. One little thing goes, you're wrong, and you could lose the series. You could lose the championship. This is intimidating. Bill Parcells used to, and man, I love this stuff about Bill Parcells. He was no nonsense. He used to tell his players, hey, you don't be the one guy that loses the game for us. Because then you got to go look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, man, that one play, I blew it. We lost the game. He would tell the players, you don't be that one guy that makes the big mistake at the end that loses the game for us. Just don't be that guy. Man, if I was being coached by Bill Parcells, I know I wouldn't be that guy.
Never. He scares me through the TV, so I couldn't imagine being on the sideline with him.
Right.
But guys, that is going to be it for today. Join us tomorrow, same time, same locations. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to us on podcast form, be sure to follow that podcast as well. Give us a few rankings as well, preferably 5 stars. If not, just let us know what we're doing wrong, and we will replace it. And we'll ask Bill Snyder to come on the show for us. We'll as well. Maybe he can.
Or Joe Paterno or Bobby Bowden. Let Bobby Bowden tell us about his upcoming season, or we'll have Joe Pa. We can't have Joe Pa anymore. I think he passed on, but we'll have his wife come on and tell us how the season's going to go this year.
All right, guys. But as always, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. We're out.
Yep.